welcome back to the channel Edify. So today we're gonna learn about child rights and protection. Where is exam is almost tomorrow. So today we are going to look into the child rights and protection. That's not that much tough paper, but important to know that what are the child rights and what is the protection we have in India and Tamil Nadu since we are teachers. So, unit 1 is all about concept and child rights. What is the concept? Child is the concept here. So, who is child? What does me mean that child? The child means that India census that is below the age of 14 years. Below the age of 14 years is called children. So that term refers to different childrens below the age of 14. Okay, so which is that age should be within 14. Okay, what is the definition? According to the Prevention of Child Marriage Act 1929, Child Marriage Act is 1929, it might be asked in one mark. Okay, so according to that act, child means a person who is male and has not completed the age of 21 years, who has not completed the age of 21 years. Under the Apprenticeship Act, that is 1951, a minor is not eligible for apprenticeship because he is child. This is one definition, that is one definition. Okay, and again, Factories Act, that given the definition, no person below 14 years of age shall be employed in any factories. So with this all definition, one is 1929 child marriage definition, and then Apprenticeship Act 1951, and then Factories Act 1948, as soon as getting the independence. So according to these three, the person who is the human who is below 14, male or female or any gender, is a children. Okay, so how this child act is followed? What is the concept? So everybody is a human, right? So although human society has claimed the stairs of century, this we are living so long, but it took long time to understand that children have rights. It took long time to understand that children have rights, and there is a three principle for the children right, that is proper and special attention need to be paid to the children and children's rights. Okay, special attention of course will be paying to children. At the same time, special attention needs to be paid to children's rights as well. And environment is very necessary for a child, because the child going through the environment in childhood, that will reflect in the next stage of that child's life. So environment is very important, and their basic welfare, parents should devote themselves for the welfare of the children. So human rights was there, adult centered was there at the enlightenment age, but children's rights came so late. It took some time to have the children's rights. Okay, so in the 17th century, a social philosopher called Locke, he believed that concept of children in context needs to be there, concept needs to be there. So again, industrial revolution came, right? That is mechanization in 19th century. Everybody will be aware of this 19th century. Where, why I am mentioning this? Because there the revolution has given the statement that machines is taking away the value of man. Machine is taking away the value of man. Because of that, there is many problem like poverty, violence, poor health, everything is there. So there is a suffering everywhere. The environment is not supportive to the children. Children suffered a lot due to this environment. That is why Joe Benjamin is saying that children are the invention of modern times, because they were until then only seen as a part of family. Until then they were only seen as a part of family. So he's like that much. And this 20th century is giving that today's children are the kings of tomorrow's society. Today's children are the kings of tomorrow's society. And you know what, the same 20th century is produced countless widows. Countless widows, which means women of the family were forced to go to work to save the family. So here also, in this context, child care centers and nurseries were started because woman is not there to woman is not there to take care of the child. Automatically child care and nurseries started, and it is blooming till the date. It is blooming. Even just born child is being educated. The 21st century is going like that, but it's been point in 20th century itself. Okay. And America is the pioneer of this activity. And entertainment, television became entertainment, serials, cartoons became entertainment to the children, which is addition to the children centered activities such as this computer use, children movies, amusement parks, theme parks, everything came. So every economic growth occurred, this changes. So that is why we are saying today's children are the kings of tomorrow's society. So India has processed several laws to protect the rights and interests of children. Okay, laws have been passed and the service of police is used. Everything happened. And in 20th century, international laws have been passed on the international level for children in groups, which is do not harming the environment. So children have international laws as well. Okay, and the United Nations created this rights of child in 1989. But 1989 it was created, but the India accepted in 1992, and the Geneva Declaration was happened in 1924. Okay, India accepted in 1992. So what is the definition of child rights? What do you think that child rights being defined? So childhood is undoubtedly dynamic. If we had a chance to go back to childhood, of course we'll be going, right? Same, childhood is undoubtedly dynamic, but we'll not realize that childhood is dynamic when we are a child. So, and even now we are not realizing. It says, the book says that this is why our children are crushed by our own hearts like a flower garland in the hand of a monkey. See, such a lines. That is why our children are crushed by our own hands like a flower garland in the hands of monkey. What a comparison that author Meenakshi Sundaram has made such a comparison. Because just born child is going to educate, as I tell. Day by day, the crime rates against the children and atrocities are increasing. They are getting lot of tortures. But when we look into that rampant injustice done to children in India, children being the pillars and future of India is laughable. When we say children being the pillars in India, which is laughable, this is happening, right? One side we are saying children have rights, the survival, everything, but their survival is question mark. Even the children born yesterday is facing an issue. That's how the country is going. But still, we are speaking for the children rights. At least any one day it will happen. The children need proper food, nutrition, medicine, and survival, etc. And they should develop their education, art, sports, skills, whatever it is. And child anthropology is establishes that children have the right to freedom from war, discrimination, violence, harassment, punishment, to live in dignity, to express opinions and to act. So children have the rights to express their opinion. At the same time, they have the freedom from war, from discrimination, violence, harassment in their childhood. They doesn't want to know the cruel world waiting in the future, that need not to be known to the child. And children rights is recognized after First World War with that Declaration of Geneva. So with that adaptation, 1959, process of recognizing child's rights continued, because thanking to UN, United Nations were really helpful in that particular rights. And what is child rights and what is human rights? Children's rights are human rights. They protect the child as a human being. As human rights, children's rights are framed by fundamental guarantees and essential human rights. Because children are had cared by human, right? So that rights recognize basic guarantees for all human beings. That is, right to live, principle of non-discrimination, right to dignity through physical and mental integrity, such as slavery, torture, and ill treatment, which is needed for children and human as well. And there is a right include the civil and political rights, right to identity, right to nationality, and economic, social, cultural, education, which is important, right to education, right to decent standard of living, right to health, and right to live with their parents, which is big rights that is should happen. But it coming under individual right, that rights to live with their parents, rights to benefit from protection, and collective rights like refugee and disabled children, minority children, everybody have the rights. Children's rights are human rights, especially adapted to children. That is, all the development are there. Children have the rights to live. Children have the rights to develop appropriate physically and intellectually. But is that rights are given? That question mark. First, we should know that these rights are there. First, humans should know that children have these rights. That is how humans, parents can pass that to children. Okay, there is definition under various laws in Tamil Nadu and India. Okay, child is a broad and heavy word. Okay, child is a broad and heavy word. There are separate names for each development stage of childhood in all languages. In all languages, there is a separate word for the child until it get developed in the certain ages. So UN has defined children as anyone under age of 18. See, note, we are telling under 14, but UN is telling under 18, whoever is there, they are children. Okay, and it is as per their 194 member states of council. Okay, again, India's registering age of 14. Okay, India is registering it as 14, and government of India signed and adopted the council's definition as child as everyone under the age of 18. So in 1991 it is signing that. So the US childhood is the within the definition of church child. Just notice that many seasons like childhood or puberty take away only from 1 to 5 year and leave the juvenile period 6 to 14 is not correct. Even though adolescence is between 14 to 18, which is the body and personality get bit developed, they are children. They are children. So children's theology is accepting that in the UN's definition of children, that everyone from the concept of 18 years of age. 18 years of age. In earlier times, there is no proper attention to the development of children. But later, it after the civilizations and all, it got some good attention. And during the British period in India, the condition of children improved slightly, because they have passed several laws prohibiting that children from working in a hazardous industries. They also enacted some laws for primary education. So after India being independent, the constitution launched that children were given many rights under this constitution, The government of India has also enacted several laws ignoring the political platform in India, and implementing child welfare program will make more difficult. Non-governmental organization, there is non-governmental organizations for child, that is what NGO we say. Okay, that is for child rights. So the World Bank defined this non-governmental organization as, World Bank is given the statement, non-governmental private organization that carry out activities which is elimination of disparity, promotion of interest of the poor, women education, women advancement, children right and protection, protection of environment, provision of basic service, community development activities. These are called NGOs, which is non-governmental organization. These are responsible for the implementation of national programs, and subsidies will be provided to the NGO to implement the national child labor scheme in backward districts which is not operational. So this will be happening via NGO. The aim and objective that NGO have is education as a fundamental right. Education is a fundamental right. So many scholarship will be given. Many scholarships will be given and break free from the cycle of poverty. And nutrition and healthcare. Nutrition and healthcare. See, even food is after education. So that much education is important. And protection from exploitation. Protection from exploitation. Everywhere the environment is exploited. So it's protecting. NGOs are protecting and empowerment, skill development, emotional, psychological support, promoting the gender equality, which is really important that NGOs are actively working towards promoting gender equality. Mainly towards the children, that girls and boys should play. Not only the girls should play and boys should, like girls will be sitting in home and boys will be playing. That's not, no more statement will be useful there. NGOs are strongly doing it. And again, best NGOs are working for best child welfare, that is Save Daughters Foundation. That is almost 20 years that Save Daughters Foundation is working for education, nutrition, health, and everything. So this is a number one, like very important foundation, Save Daughters Foundation. And another one is Save the Children India. Save the Children India, which is non-profit organization and also independent, which is saving the children. More, almost they save 10 million children. This NGO is working to improve the situation of children in more than 80 countries, which is really, really wonderful. That is Bal Raksha Bharat is the name given to India. And World Vision India, which is renowned humanitarian organization promoting regardless of religion, color, ethnicity, gender, nothing. That is God's unconditional love. That is what World Vision India. And Salam Balak Trust. This is dedicated to the environment where all children are educated and healthy. 2000 dedicated staff and 6252 communities are working there. So this is like 26 lakh children and their families are depend on the Salam Balak Trust. Delhi Council for Child Welfare, Enfold Trust, Backbone Bako Andal. So there are many, and also other well-known foundation is Trident Foundation, Child Rights and Ukraine, Snehalaya, Genesis Foundation, KC Mahendra Educational Trust, Smile Foundation. We can list it. Teach for India. Many foundations are there. So first unit is all about what is child. Understand that child have a rights and how they are surviving, have to be protected, development, participation, how NGOs are contributing, and why the child rights is needed in society. And Right to Education Act is the fundamental act. So these things are really covered in the first unit. And final point, important point, children's are private. Children's are not the property of their parents or property of the state. They are not mere human beings. They have equal status as the members of human family. So they completely dependent for livelihood. So it has to be taken care. It's not like property. They have to be cared very properly. They are the kings of society in a tomorrow. So they need the rights to education, survival, protection, development, everything. And finally, I end the unit 1 with few acts. Please note it down. Tamil Nadu Basic Education Act 1920, Bombay Elementary Education Act 1947, Child Education Act of India 1950, Kerala Education Act 1959, West Bengal Urban Primary School Act 1963, Orissa Education Act 1969. So these are important educational acts. Okay, and everything, UNICEF, FAO, WHO, everything plays important role in the child's development and claiming the child's right. So let's step into the unit 2, that is violence against children. Violence against children. So we are in a democratic country where everybody should be treated equally and living in the brotherhood. But it is subjecting to the violence. India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Cambodia, Afghanistan, everywhere, children are often subjected to violence. What are the types of violence they are facing? Sexual violence against children. So, in 1970, that women's organization brought child sexual abuse into public eye. That is the first time in 1970 women's organizations are bringing child sexual abuse into the public eye. Until then, it was a leafy plant in India. At only that time it came. And in 2006, which is recently, right? 2006, it was reported that 42% of children living in India were affected by polio before the age of 18, which is the hardest disease that. So, according to the 2007 study, which Ministry of Women and Child Welfare conducted an survey, a girl starts slowly from the sexual harassment for girls starts slowly from the birth to 5 years of age and became intense when they reach 12 to 16, which is really really bad, again I'm repeating, 2007 study says that sexual harassment of girls starts slowly from birth to 5 years of age and becomes intense when they reach 12 to 16 years of age. 21% of the 12,447 children who is participating in national study conducted by Nita Lal in India reported that they have been subjected to form of sexual violence. They have been 21% in 12,000 something, such as being raped, touching the private parts, grouping, or being forced to watch the scenes. These many things are happens, even such as from the family, many things are happen which goes beyond. So this act is like, it should be protected, it should be completely vanished. It's not only in India, it's happening in many countries. And the acid is like something, increasing day by day, that is, normally it's available for rupees 10 and rupees 20 in the shops. At least 3 people are attacked by acid every week in India. Every week, at least 3. So, uh, it is like reporting that 80% of acid attack victims are women. 40 to 70% them are girls under the age of 18. So, in 2006, government should take strict measures to suppress acid attacks. That is coming with 2000. 5, the victim at age of 15 is declaring in the 2006. So it should be taken strict action. And domestic violence, binding of the feet. So in China, there is long time children's feet were bound to make them smaller and more beautiful. Sometimes the feet were clipped. So this is like 1,000 years they have been followed, which is in 20th century only started demanding. human trafficking, war and military violence. There are many violence are happening against the children. Psychological aggression, sale of children, child labor, which is very cruel. That child labor, they are suffering more than anything in child labor. So if we start this child labor and child abusement, it goes long. Drug dependency among children, everything is there. So there is a person in drug addiction is like, teachers, doctors, everybody is trying to stop it. Students are creating awareness. Then came the laws that government is enacting a law to the drug addiction in Dangerous Drugs Act 1930, Narcotics Act 1940, Narcotics Drug Prevention 1950, Drug and Magic Prevention 1954, Narcotics and Narcotics Act 1985. Awareness activities. Many awareness activities are being conducted. Family therapy and addiction, impositions, general treatment method, many came. And online abuse, which is been, what is online abuse, how the social media platforms are used. It is like made it very easy for us to communicate quickly with family, friends, and whomever, even the unfortunate person, unknown person. But this online and social media is also creating several abusements. Cyberbullying, cell phone dependency. 40% modern Indian mobile phone users spend 2 to 6 hours on the phone. 40% spending 2 to 6 hours. Two-thirds of mobile users can check their phone within 30 minutes of waking up in the morning. Within 30 minutes, the person's two-thirds of persons have to check their mobile. Once they wake up, they have to check their mobile before doing anything else. And 40% of their phone during working hours and 38% at night. 67% feel like they have lost something if they don't have a mobile phone. And the special point comes here, out of this 50% are youth. 50% are youth, who is the future generation of India. Social media, video games are the much time the youngsters are spending. And even now we are watching the mobile, right? But we do have book, but we don't have time to read, so we are watching the mobile, which might be the video goes for 1 hour or 2 hour. But watching video games and studying is different. At least make it useful. And children, youngsters, completely wrong. It's completely wrong to use the mobile phone for 5 to 6 hours. That is very bad as well. And there are factors that leading to vulnerability of children in Tamil Nadu and root causes. What is that root cause? Poverty. Like children reeling under poverty is always facing a health issues, lack of access for health facility. And there is India have the highest number of death of children under 5 years of age because vaccination is not done. Nutrition, street children, any living through street without livelihood. Female infanticide, killing the children at the age of 0 to 1 because female child, dowry system, poverty, lack of support, everything is there. So since in 21st century it is happening, which needs to be protected. Okay, unit 3, child rights, laws and policies. Laws and policies. There is juvenile delinquency, which means act of committing the crime at very young age, which is below 18. Since now we have seen that below 18 are children, how many rights they have, how are the issues they are facing. This environment is influencing them to do a crime. So this is what juvenile delinquency, which is act of committing a crime at very young age, below 18. The law and the age of delinquent may vary in countries, but the statutory age is under the age of 18. So they are adolescents who have not attained legal age. There is no legal age, and they fails to the expected livelihood of society. So they are expected, youths are expected to be obedient, respectful, good virtues and qualities, mentally, physically strong, endowed with skills and healthy. But due to some circumstances, they are not unable to follow the rules and regulations themselves, are committing into wrong and harmful acts. So, according to Coleman delinquency, he is telling that behavior of youths under 18 years of age, which is not acceptable to society and is generally regarded as calling for someone kind of admonishment, admonishment, punishment, or corrective measure. So mainly boys are moved into involvement of this delinquency than girls. Like, common delinquencies by the males are murder, theft, robbery, drugs, sexual abuse. Among the female, the offense, small thefts, running from home, or drug usage are common. Study says that children from slum areas and lower class families are more involved because of their poverty. The term juvenile justice is referring to the legislation, norms, standards, procedures, mechanism, and the provision institution that is applicable to juvenile offenders. However, this justice can be thought of more broadly to include the effort to understand the root cause which is bringing children with this unwanted activity. There are at least 1 million children in the world behind bars, often in conditions which constitute inhuman and degrading treatment, so which is not acceptable, right? They are in front of bar at this age. That's so sad. That cannot be justified, which cannot be justified at all. Who are children and what is their rights? Human rights are what every man and woman born as human being need to live with the self respect and security. Even children have their own self respect, right? So that needs to be cared a lot. Committing a crime is not good, and there is a rights to free and compulsory education. Even though after that free and compulsory education, these things are happening. And next comes the important act, that is POSCO, Protection of Children from Sexual Offense. It was passed by the parliament in 2012 to protect minor from crime like child pornography and harassments kind of things. The protection of children from this offense act, it is POSCO's full form. Under the Ministry of Women and Child Development, the act was passed in 2012. The Protection of Children from Sexual Offense Act, that is the full form. Okay. And free and compulsory education is all about RTE. It is all about RTE. And this POSCO, this is monitoring and enforcing the responsibilities and protection of children all the time. It has important in India as well. And Prohibition of Child Marriage Act in 2006. According to Indian law, a marriage is where either the woman is below age 18 or man is below age 12 is wrong. Most child marriages involve underage women, many of whom are in poor social economic condition. Still, the child marriage is evolving with the same reason of poverty, dowry, a lot of things. The one who is under 21 male and the one woman who is under 18 shouldn't be getting married. They are children, right? So this act also implemented in Tamil Nadu have framed and notified the state rules in 30/12/2009. So the district social welfare officers in each district are appointed as child marriage prohibition officers, are vested with powers to act upon any information of solemnization through any mode of communication, to file the petition to annulling that child marriage in district court, and also the custody maintenance of the children's child marriage. Panchayat level core committees have been constituted to the chairmanship. So the steps are taken, the awarenesses were created, everything is done, but still it's happening and the actions are also happening. Child Labor Prohibition Regulation Act, that is 1986. Child laborers are children who are of school age and earn income by doing a business, doing a work. The term child labor generally refers to the children below the age of 14 years. India has the highest number of child laborers under the age of 14. According to UNICEF, there are total 1.27 crore child laborers in India. 1.27 crore. It's not lakh crore. More than that, about 60 lakh children are engaged in dangerous occupation that do not guarantee their lives. Anytime they can die. That kind of activity this is. And more than 19 lakh, that is 19 lakh child laborers in India are age group 5 to 14 in Uttar Pradesh. And the state of Rajasthan alone, I'm telling, Rajasthan alone, 12.6 lakh children are engaged in hazardous work. 40,000 to 50, 4 lakh to people are engaged in the worst activity, and 40 to 50,000 thousands in Sivakasi lamp factory in Tamil Nadu. But it is very high in Rajasthan. 12.6 lakh is so high when it's compared to 2000s. 12.6 lakh is so high. Even one number is very bad. Even one is very bad. There are in Uttar Pradesh 40 to 60,000 laborers in carpet oil in Michapur, and 30 lakh child labor in Tamil Nadu alone today, and 48% of them are girls. I don't like where it gonna end. The India doesn't know. It is like that. Children's young bodies are exposed to heavy workloads, unsanitary working condition, excessive heat, radiation. They are not doing that matured work. They no needs to work at that age. It's very bad. Why they are working? What are the factors that child laborers are getting affected? Economic condition, unable to meet their daily needs. How they focus education when they are not able to earn enough to eat? Unemployment for parents. How they will eat? Ill health parents. They don't have a money to take care of health. How they will take care of children? Social condition. Alcoholism of father and mother. Anyone or both. Doing inheritance business. School conditions. Dislike for children. Teacher student relationship. That is also reason few students are not interested in that particular school or class, and when they are forced to do, they just quit it and go for a job. Family condition. Taking care of small children at home. The 10-year child will go for a job because just born child is suffering. Children working for loan taken by parents, which is cruel situation. Why should they take loan and make the children work? The problem or leading to child labor is loss of basic education, stress. This word shouldn't be introduced to the child. Stress, low income, high workload, sexual harassment for girls, lack of medical aid, addiction to habits like alcoholism, cigarettes, BD, like that, depletion of human resource, inability to avail free basic education, physical and mental problems, more labor risks threatened. Nothing can be, stop them from working except this child labor act. It has to, their problem has to be found and their problem has to be solved. These many problems they have. And this term child, is considered as equivalent to the universe for parents. Children are the source where the humanity still exists. At the same time, for them it is getting deployed also. However, many are many are getting humanity because of children. And there is some places where the factories and child labor is most common in India. Places and factories I list out: Sivagasi, firecracker and match factory; Tirupur, banyan factory; Kovilpatti, matchbox factory; Mukkudal, beet factory; Aligarh, lock factory; Prasopath, glass factory; Kanjipuram, silk weaving factory; again Kanjipuram, woolen factory; Surat, diamond factory; Lucknow, garment printing dyeing. These many factories are there where mostly children are used. Children are the greatest asset of the country. We have to protect them. That is where the nation and state policies for children came. NCPC or SCPC or NGOs, all the institution came to protect the children and improve their maternal health care, including antenatal care, safe delivery for the mothers, to help them in the all the time from the birth to the education, everything. So there are some addresses given there. It needs to be contacted in the child abuse to the state consumer grievances appellate tribunal, state police commission, Tamil Nadu minorities economic development commission, state planning commission, everywhere, anywhere we can give the compliance directly. So this is what all about unit 4, how the children are getting affected with this employment through there is an act and child marriage, all those things. So when it comes to unit 4, it's all about child friendly school and role of teacher. Learning environment is very very important, and it is development right and welfare for the child given to priority. That is what called child friendly school. Proper environment is what child friendly school. Both go beyond academics and focus on creating a safe and welcoming place, safe and welcoming fun place where children can survive, children can easily go and have a safe place. What is the importance of this child friendly school? Learning environment that places a high priority to all over development, rights and welfare of children is known as child friendly school. Beyond the academic, it has to focus on the welcoming environment. That is really important. Six importance of child friendly schools is like optimal learning environment, comprehensive development. Okay, merely it should be developing in the knowledge as well. Okay, focus on holistic development, basic life skill including like empathy, relations, cooperation, communication, mental and emotional health, a diverse and inclusive community, children friendly, that is what it means, diverse and inclusive community, effective parent teacher partnership, how parent and child, how teacher student relationship, same how parent teacher relationship should be there. So what is safeguarding? It is a process of protecting children and young people from harm. It is a responsibility of teachers working in schools, that is us, who must be proactive in keeping students so safe, so safe. The role of teachers in safeguarding the rights is like have a vital role in that. They are responsible for monitoring and reporting any suspected signs that is happening to a student. Child protection policy in school. Bloom Public School, that is hereinafter known as the school, promote holistic school safety where every student have the right to protective environment free of violence, harassment, abuse and neglect based on the respect of child. And here the child have a meaning that student admitted and enrolled in the school located anywhere in India. That is what here child mean. Child, that is what it means. Cyberbullying mean any form of intimidation or harassment using a computer, communication device, computer network. Mental harassment means include humiliation, name calling, repeated threat and physical violence to child. Penal offense means any act to conduct which is such a nature so as to cause bodily pain, harm, danger to life, like that. Bullying, ragging will happen in schools and colleges, which is also needs to be taken care by the teachers and professors, which is really really important. There is six-fold typology, which the student voice can vary from simple self-expression in taking on a leadership role in aspect of school. That is expression, voice and opinion, consultation, asked for opinion, participation, attend and preferably play active role, partnership, formal role in decision making, activism, identify a problem, activism, leadership, play and make a decision given the relevant activities, so that school community have some leaders as well. Why students voice is important in school? because their voice is rooted in the concept of children's rights and human rights. In a particular article 12, the United Nations Convention says that UNCRC establishes that right of every child to have say in matters which affect them, whether in or out of school, as well as to be involved in decisions that affect them. So it is generally UNCRC includes that all the articles that increasing a student's voice, including the right to seek and receive informations to express their own views with others. So that is really important part. Importance of child rights and clubs. Why the child right club is needed? Or child-led group establishing, empower children, educate them about right and responsibilities. They should know that they have rights, right? They should know that they have rights. That is why it is there. CRC is there. And the school management have the role. They have to aim in ensuring effective school governance. The government school, there is a principal and teacher, 70% parents, 25% local government representative, 75% parent, and 50% women, head of the village. Everybody are responsible. They have a duties monitoring and enrollment and attendance of the children, whether they are coming to the school or they are going to the job, and especially enrolling the physically handicapped children, taking care of them, giving the proper learning materials, implementing free midday meal scheme, monitoring the utilization, teachers attendance, everything is important. So challenges of teacher as the child practitioner, as a child right practitioner, what are the challenges that teachers are facing? Limited awareness and understanding, balancing competing priorities, inadequate training and professional development, lack of supportive policy and resource, lack of collaboration and coordination, limited parental and community involvement, resistant to change and traditional practices. These are the things that is affecting teachers in practicing the child rights to child. Okay. So finally we came to the last unit, where in all the four units we looked into how the childs are getting affected, how many percentages are affected, where are they getting affected, and every affection had the rules and regulations, and every child had the rights, everything. Now, skills for child protection and participation. So uh, there is an identification of children in vulnerable situation. How it can be identified? A vulnerable child is someone who has been identified as being at risk of experiencing physical or emotional harm, and who are at risk of experiencing adverse outcomes due to factors in their lives, including physical, emotional, health, educational need, experience of risk of harm. So what is the situation? Going away from home regularly, linked to other vulnerable youth known to be exploited or involved in gangs, learning difficulty or special educational needed, abuse of drugs and alcohol, poor mental health. And what are the warning signs which needs to be noted? Warning signs that this kind of child have, exploiting child: skipping school, staying out late or overnight, unexplained gifts and new possession, drug and alcohol use, secret behavior. These things not to be noted by teachers too and parent as well. Inappropriate behavior, friendship relationship with adult, significant change in mood, behavior, clothing, hygiene, etc., change in appearance, withdrawal or isolation, poor mental health, self harm. Lot of time spent on social media talking to friends who you haven't met or don't know. Unexplained injuries, they own a second mobile phone from which they receive large volume of calls, and need to leave in a hurry after receiving a text or a call. These kind of things are like very common symptom that these youths are having. How this warning signs can be identified and what are the factors this can be used? Child abuse is more than just bruises or broken bones. It's more than that. It is like least visible scars. Like not all the child will be boldly telling that. boldly injured child should tell the other person about it. That awareness needs to be created. Skill to deal with the children is not easy. Have to be emotionally balanced in teaching this in reaching the children. So the protection needs to be given, their communication, and they couldn't make their own decision. It will go in a wrong because they'll go with the decision which they like. They'll not go with the decision which will suit them. So parenting and the guardian or parent or the teacher have to be so careful in this case to the children. So this is what all about child right and protection. Once again, I'm just letting you know all the five unit names, that is child rights and protection, where we seen all the child's rights, the importance, the NGOs, and violence against the child is all about how the societal thought and how they are getting mentally affected, the laws and policies in the institution that childs have, and friendly schools, the role of teachers, and finally skills for protection and participation. So all the best to all your exams. I hope you'll do well. This is a complete summary and overview. You can just see it before your exam after reading the complete book, or even if you haven't read the book, just read this concept, listen to it, and write it. It will be useful to you. Thank you. We'll see you in the next video. Bye.